announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Ciao ragazzi, buongiorno a tutti. Come stai stamattina? It is early in the morning here for me. Odd hour for me. It's normal time, I guess, in Italy here. But yeah. Gonna get into a big match today, Inter versus Roma. We're gonna keep this video short. We're gonna preview Inter Roma, obviously, look ahead at the head-to-head. Look at the probable lineups that we're gonna have. We're about 7 hours away from kickoff. See what the lineups may be. We'll look at how both teams will attack, and then we'll give our predictions of the game. So, yeah, hope you guys are awake with me. For those who are awake with me, if you're in the U.S., I'm proud, man up to you. I see our boy Anthony's in the house. Saturday night viewing. There you go. I love it. Inter worldwide. Love it. Football worldwide. All right, well, let's get into this one here. Previewing the game. Big game, Inter versus Roma. Both teams struggling at the moment. Head-to-head, it's not just Inter versus Roma. It's Inzaghi versus Mourinho. Speaking of Mourinho, the wily vet, he has a way about him in the interviews, right? Anytime he goes to a press conference, he has his aura about him. Inzaghi, channel a little bit about that. Let's watch the video real quick. Inzaghi, I believe it was yesterday at his press conference.
Chiaramente parla la mia storia, dove alleno io aumentano I ricavi, dimezzano le perdite e arrivano I trofei. Così è stata la Lazio, così è stata l'Inter, adesso...
So, basically, Patrick Kendrick, shout out to him, translate the interview for us. Says, my record speaks for itself. Wherever I work, revenue goes up, losses are halved, and I deliver trophies. That's how it was at Lazio, and that's how it began the case at Inter. And this is on the eve of facing Roma, of course, but he's channeling his own is in Mourinho, I guess, talking about his credentials. Mourinho is known for doing that, right? And so I know Interisti love to see that from Inzaghi, right? Anthony, let me know in the chat. I know you love seeing that from Inzaghi. Inzaghi's been a little bit under the hot seat lately, but the question is, how have they been head-to-head? Well, Inzaghi's actually won 3 against Mourinho. Mourinho has 0 wins against them. Will that change? We'll see. It's you wouldn't think that. You look at these two managers, especially Mourinho's past, but it's pretty interesting. Puffing his chest, but to me, it's clear sign he's feeling the pressure. Yeah, exactly. I think the pressure is on Inzaghi. Struggling in the last 5 matches, 3 losses in the last 5 matches. Look, on the flip side, Roma have 3 losses in the last 5 matches, right? But the pressure is more on Inzaghi than it is on Mourinho. Let's see. So the last 6 games head-to-head between these two teams, right? Inter's won 4 in a row. 4 wins in a row. Will they make it 5? We'll see. That's one trend. The other trend I noticed from the last 6 games is that in every single one of these matches, Inter has scored at least 2 goals. Will that continue? I don't know. Again, both teams are struggling at the moment. Both would love to have a win to kind of kickstart that winning motion back in play. Will it happen? That is it. That'll be what I'm going to look at today. It's going to be interesting. People who are definitely going to be out in this one. Lukaku, not going to be in. Kind of had a setback last week. Will be out of the matchup for sure. Brozovic as well picked up another injury. I think he was suspended anyway for this match, but picked up an injury during the international break. On the flip side, Karsdorp, he's out for Roma. I think Romanisti are probably cheering this one, right? Vasilic is probably going to get the start in this one, obviously, with Karsdorp out. Dybala, though, will be in the match. From what I'm hearing, he will be able to play. He did not play for Argentina. Picked up the injury, as we all remember, against Atalanta. Did not play for Argentina despite getting called up, but chances are that he will play in this one. At least that's what I'm hearing at the moment. So looking at the possible starting lineups from this one, for Inter here, Handanovic in goal, probably, right? Onana should get the start. He's clearly the better goalkeeper. I think any Interisti will tell you that he's probably the better goalkeeper, but This is what happens. This is what happens. Chris is in the house. Good morning, everyone. Um, back three, probably looking at Bastoni, probably looking at Cherby and Skriniar. Decent back three, I would say. Midfield five changes. Obviously, with Brozovic out, someone has to come in, and the consensus is Aslani's the one that's going to step up. I think even Zaghi said in his press conference, Aslani would get this the start in this one. So you can look at DiMarco, Aslani, Çalhanoğlu probably, either him or Mkhitaryan, but I'm going to go with Çalhanoğlu, Barella, and Dumfries, of course. And up top, Lautaro and Dzeko. Looking at Roma, Rui Patricio, right? Obviously, it's a similar starting 11 for them. Mancini, Smalling, Ibanez in the back. Midfield four of Cristante, Pellegrini, Selic, who we mentioned with the Karsdorp being out, as is Spinazzola. Then you probably got Zaniolo, Dybala, and Abraham. Chris, he's Italian, won't understand everything I'll say. I appreciate that. To be fair, English people don't understand me sometimes too. I talk too fast. So I'll work on slowing that down. So, benvenuti. So those are the starting lineups for the two clubs. Interesting in this one. I mean, it's a solid starting lineup for both teams, right? Go back to Inter. I mean, there's not much they can do better, right? You can argue that putting Lukaku in there over Dzeko would be better if he was available. That's possible. Yeah, obviously the chemistry between Lautaro and Lukaku is fantastic. Dzeko and Lautaro have not done as well, but though lately has improved. The midfield in this one will be interesting for both teams. This is where the game's gonna be won or lost. Obviously, the triumvirate of Çalhanoğlu, Aslani, in this case, and Barella will have to do big against Pellegrini, Cristante, and then obviously Selic and Spinazzola, and then Dumfries and DiMarco for Inter. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting in this one. Looking at how I think Inter could attack in this one, obviously the wing play is gonna be huge for Inter, right? Dumfries coming down the right, DiMarco on the left. Even look for Bastoni, even though he's playing a center back, going over the left hand side. He always does this. He loves to do that, right? Aslani, curious to see how he does this. He's done well in his brief appearances for Inter, but how is he going to play in this one? He's going to be a guy who's just going to have to clean up everything. Him and Barella play a little bit more defensively than he normally has to, because obviously Brozovic is back there, someone you can rely on, right? And Aslani, we'll see how he does, right? He should do well. It's a big game for him, but he should do well. I think he's going to be trying to clean up all the messes. That Barella will be everywhere, as he always is. He'll be obviously pivotal to the attack, both providing for the attackers and also for Dumfries on the right-hand side. That combination between the two is very important for Inter. Çalhanoğlu, I think for me, is a key to man match for Inter. He has to be offensively. If he's going to be the one playing, he has to spark everything. Its game is going to be won or lost in that midfield, and you need the guys. I think the two key guys are going to be Çalhanoğlu for Inter and Pellegrini for Roma. Can they unlock that midfield and feed it to their attackers? If Lautaro can get the ball, if Jack can get the ball, look out. They can score. And so you're going to look for Çalhanoğlu to have a big game, hopefully, if Inter are going to win this game. Looking at the flip side with Roma, do I support any team? I do. I am a Milanista. Sorry, you see in the chat here, but yeah, we talk all Serie A here on Serie A Sitdown, Chris. So welcome. Back over to the Roma lineup. Cristante is going to be doing the cleanup work. Pellegrini is important for him, as I talked about with Çalhanoğlu. Can he unlock that midfield, get through that defense, and feed the ball to Zaniolo, Dybala, and Abraham? We know Spinazzola is going to come down the left-hand side. Silic will probably try to go down the right-hand side as well. The defense for Roma will probably hold back a little bit more, but look for Pellegrini to get involved offensively and trying to feed Abraham ultimately. Zaniolo and Dybala are going to go one-on-one against their guys. The advantage is for them there, especially look at Zaniolo against Skriniar. Skriniar has struggled against the pacier of attackers in the league. And so can Zaniolo take advantage of this? Will fouls be an issue in this one, right? It's going to be a hotly contested match. So I hope Inter loses. Oh, he's a Juventino. Okay. I don't hope for anyone to lose. I'm neutral when I'm doing Serie A sit-down. I'm not going to be cheering or hoping anyone loses or anything. So I hope for a good match. I'm a neutral at this point. Yeah. That's how I see both these teams lining up. Some of the key takeaways, some match facts from these games. Inter scored over 2.5 goals in 13 of the last 14 games. So they've been on the scoring trend despite being on a little bit of a downward slope at the moment. Inter's won their last 7 home matches. They're at home in this one. The San Siro's or Giuseppe Meazza is going to be rocking in this one. We said Inter have won their last 4 against Roma. They've also been winning at halftime in each of those games as well. So look to see the earliest scoring by Inter. I mentioned Inter have scored 2 goals in each of the last 6 games against Roma. So this is going to be an interesting game for me. Both teams have their strengths and their weaknesses. For me, obviously Inter has a lot of strengths. They have a lot of weaknesses as well, right? So Inter, they're very good at creating shot opportunities and using the through balls. I think Çalhanoğlu will be key in this aspect. With the getting the through balls in. Going over here to Inter, excuse me. He'll be key in that regards. Can he unlock the defense with those passes? He's done it before. He's also got the ability to shoot the ball from distance. He's got a wicked shot. That's really hard to get the goalkeeper to get an eye on there. Set pieces, Çalhanoğlu and company, they're very good on the set pieces as well. Free kicks, scoring chances, attacks. This is where Inter's strengths are, right? Their weaknesses on the other side is avoiding the offsides. They get offsides a little too often, I think, for me. Defending counterattacks. This game, both teams like to counterattack and they're okay with opposition having more of the ball. Who of these two teams will have more of the possession? I'm going to guess Roma slightly in this one. I think Inter will let them have the ball a little bit. It'll be very close for it. Even you're probably looking at a 55-45 split, honestly. But both teams have to play in the counterattack, and they'll be content with giving the ball up and trying to catch their opposition on the counterattack, because I think that's a good way to try to score against both these clubs, especially with the defenders not being as pacey as they could be. Inter make a lot of individual errors. We talked about Skriniar down the left-hand side against the pacier attackers. Look out for that. How will Aslani do in this game? Looking at Roma, right? Roma is not without, don't want to only talk about Inter in this one here. But Roma, excuse me, they're good at set pieces. Pellegrini, fantastic, just as Çalhanoğlu is for Inter. Roma are very good at scoring chances. Though they don't have that many goals. They only have, 8 goals in 5 games or something crazy this year. 8 goals overall this season, I should say. They create a lot of scoring opportunities. Roma are very good at creating chances, whether it's through Abraham, Zaniolo, Dybala, Pellegrini, whomever. They're very good at that. Creating long shot opportunities. We talk about Çalhanoğlu likes the long shots. Pellegrini does as well. They're going to get their chances at getting the shots. Spinazzola, look out for him on the left-hand side. Again, good on the counterattack. Roma are actually pretty good protecting the lead. Mourinho has really influenced this defense. This team has played a lot better under Mourinho than they had previously. If they get the lead, they will look up shop. Juventus used to be able to say to do this. They can't do that anymore. But Roma certainly can, so look out for that. Roma are also very good stealing the ball from the opposition. And when they do that, look out for the counterattack. Look for Abraham, Zaniolo, Dybala. These guys have pace. They can catch Inter on those counterattacks. But they have weaknesses. We talk about scoring. They get a lot of scoring opportunities, not many goals. A lot of individual errors from this team. They're very poor at defending set pieces. Can Inter catch them on that? That'd be a great opportunity for Inter to score off a set piece. And then also fouling in dangerous areas. Roma have not been good about that. We talk about Skriniar against pacier opponents. But, Roma are just as bad. So, what does he say? What does Chris say? Did you hear that Inter and Milan signed to bring down the stars? Yeah, I heard rumors. I haven't heard anything official yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if San Siro does get demolished for a new stadium here. But it should be interesting. But back to the game. Prediction time. Who will win? It's a tough game. Right? Inter are very good in their ability to counterattack. They have some obviously talented players, right? Lautaro, if he gets an opportunity, or Dzeko, they're deadly. They can be deadly. They're not always deadly, right? But that midfield between the two teams is going to be the key of the game. Again, Çalhanoğlu for me, for Inter, and Roma with Pellegrini. Those are the guys. Can they unlock their teams? I think this is a pretty even matchup, honestly. Do I see the trend of Inter scoring 2 goals in every match continue? I do not. I I don't like how they've been playing as of late. I think Zaghi's under the hot seat, obviously, with his comments during the press conference. He's feeling the pressure. Will he want to open it up? I don't think so, because he does not want to get exposed, and have Roma score a bunch of goals on them. So I don't see Inter scoring 2 goals in this one. I see Roma is gonna pose a lot of troubles. Obviously, Dybala and Zaniolo are gonna be key, but Pellegrini, he's gonna get involved in this one. How can Selleck perform on the right-hand side? Can he get up there? Spinazzola will. Can Selleck? Can he get in the crosses and feed Abraham in the middle? This is gonna be such a fantastic chess match, and if one of these 2 teams get to go early, which I imagine someone will, the other team's gonna be fine, playing defensive ball and trying to hold that lead. Whenever I feel this kind of way with 2 teams going back and forth, there's only one result in my mind, and it's gonna be a draw. I think it's gonna be a 1-1. 1-1 is my scoreline here. Let me know your predictions in the chat before we wrap this one up. Sto Americano. Yep, I am American. Sono Americano. Thank you, Uncle Sharma. Uncle Sharma, the king of the Inter previews. This is Anthony from Inter Worldwide as well. So you guys should follow these 2 guys anyway, right? Uncle Sharma and Anthony from Inter Worldwide. Follow those guys if you haven't done it yet. Those guys are awesome. Uncle Sharma says 1-1 too. I agree. This game has all the makings of a draw. And the question is, how many goals will be scored? I think not many for each. I think both of them are struggling. Inzaghi will still feel the pressure, but 1-1 is better than losing, right? If Inter somehow lose this match, woo! Do not want to be Inzaghi or Interisti, right? But yeah, that's my prediction. Quick preview. We're not gonna do no 2-hour podcast here. That's all. We'll talk the game. Just 6.5 hours away. As a neutral, I hope it's an entertaining game. I think it will be entertaining, despite the 1-1 scoreline. Lots of opportunities, scoring opportunities. Lots of yellow cards. Look out for those pacier attackers from both teams, upsetting the defense in there. So Mancini, he's always due for a yellow card, right? He might get a red card. Watch out for Mancini. So Chris will be happy if Inter lose. Of course, he's a Juventino. Of course. All right, ragazzi, I'm out. It's early. Maybe I'll go back to bed. I don't know. It's 5:15 in the morning here in the United States. Way too early, but I'm on a crazy time now with the new baby I just had a week ago. So, all right. With that, I say enjoy the game. Enjoy the weekend. We'll catch you on Serie Sit-Down on Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Super late if you're in Europe. But you can always catch us on the replay. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe and like our page here. Much, much appreciated here. But Frank's not here. So for Frank, I'm Richard Carmen, and we'll catch you soon. Ciao.